Welcome to Maga Matters Radio Show. Author Greg Meakin tackles the issues of the day with lots of laughs along the way. Raw, unscripted, uncensored, uncanceled. Mega Matters with Greg Meakin starts now.
You got me headed to the left, headed to the right, headed back and forth, but baby, it's alright. You got me going to the east, going to the west, going up and down, cause baby, you know best. All day, all night, running around, I'm never gonna stop because you never settle down. Got me shooting into space, flying at the sun. I'm never coming back, cause baby, you're the one. You got me shooting into space, flying.
Good morning, America. This is America Matters Media, and the show, the brand new show, is Maga Matters with Greg Meakin. Howdy, everybody out there. Howdy, everybody out there. What an exciting day. What an exciting day. This is the first, I call it, kickoff show of Maga Matters. And we'll be featured every Wednesday. Same time, same bat station, 11 a.m. Pacific and 12 noon Mountain, 2 o'clock Eastern. My name is Greg Meakin. I am here with you. This is going to be an absolute blast. I flew into Reno, Nevada. I've never been to Reno, Nevada, Eddie Floyd.
Wow.
I've been everywhere, man, like Johnny Cash, but I ain't been ever to Reno. But a little bit of a culture shock.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it maybe even another show. There's pros.
It's great.
There's cons.
I wanted to come on with your permission early and personally, as well as on behalf of the board of directors and everybody who works at America Matters Media, to welcome you, to absolutely welcome you to the airways here with Maga Matters. It's so important, your show to us, because as you'll listen to the rest of our shows, we lean pretty heavily to the right, okay? So when you came up with the name and said, I'd like to do a show called Maga Matters, I went, hallelujah, brother, hallelujah. As a matter of fact, you told me that the day after I came home from Mar-a-Lago, okay? And I said, boy, you couldn't have picked a better time to ask me about a show called Maga Matters.
That's right.
You know?
You're right. You're hot on the MAGA trail there. And the key is Maga Matters, make America great again.
Amen.
Matters in every way, in hundreds of ways.
Right, right. Well, I'll tell you what's so amazing is the fact that, and we are getting calls right now. People don't know I'm on the air with you right now, welcoming you to the show.
Thank you.
So
Eddie.
let me tell everybody out there, if you would, just give me about 15, 20 minutes, okay?
Sure.
And then I'll be available for you to get involved prior to the noon show, which is going to be open mic. Open mic for any and everybody to come in, call in, or you name it. I don't care what the topic is. We discuss everything. And I tell you what, I am so impressed. I was looking at a book that you had written, okay? And the first thing I do is just by coincidence, I open to the picture page, and there you are with the great Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
And I had no idea. My co-host plays hockey just about every day or every other day of his life, City League hockey in Los Angeles, and you need to spend some time with Leo Zaki to help him, because there you are playing hockey with the great.
It's so funny, you can put 65 years into a career, and the thing people remember for is playing hockey with Wayne Gretzky. Can you imagine? It was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and to this day, to this moment, I just feel blessed I had that experience, and that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
But indeed, I joke. Everyone's got kind of their gifts and blessings in life, Leo, and for some reason, I've been blessed with being able to accomplish really big things out of the blue, or know really cool people out of the blue. Example, I always say I'm a garbage golfer. Okay, but I've had a hole in one.
Wow.
I was a average Montreal hockey player, but I've been on the ice with Wayne Gretzky. So just I call them gifts and blessings, where it's just for some reason just had some really cool experiences, and again they end up in books.
Any other professional sports, Greg, that you were
I
involved
never
in?
played professional. I was an old hockey guy. I
Uh-huh.
happened to have built an ice arena up in Seattle 20 years ago
Oh,
for
wow.
my community and my twin boys. It was
Wow.
20 years before the Seattle Kraken
Wow.
hockey. So I built an ice arena, Bremerton Ice Arena. It's interesting we talk about this, but
Right.
Bremerton Ice Arena. And because of that, it was literally regular hockey dad builds ice arena for his twin boys and the community. That was the story 20 years ago. So I ended up on the front page of the Montreal Gazette, and Wayne Gretzky's manager contacted me saying, what a cool thing to promote youth hockey. And we have 1 minute left. Awesome. It's great radio whenever you come to the commercial breaks. So thrilled to be here with Eddie Floyd.
And let me take this opportunity to let everybody know I'm going to walk out so I can personally listen to MAGA Matters and Greg Meakin, the host of the show. But I wanted to thank you for the offer and allowing me to come on and welcome you personally to America Matters Media family.
Thank you so much, Eddie Floyd. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got
it. Sliced fresh sandwiches every day, made right before your eyes. The Port of Subway could be a smoking number 5 or a classic number 8, or maybe an Italian is your number 1 fave. Whatever you crave, prepare to fall in love. Sliced fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
The grilled chicken melt at Port of Subs will warm up your winter with savory grilled chicken and your favorite melty cheese on fresh baked peppercini pepper jack bread, topped with all your favorite veggie toppings and sauces. Bundle up with savory Cool Ranch Doritos, a refreshing Sprite, and a classic chocolate chip cookie for a hearty meal that'll leave you feeling oh so satisfied. Available for a limited time at your neighborhood Port of Subs, or order at portofsubs.com or on our mobile app. Port of Subs, we're slicing up the quality you crave.
Whatever yummy number you're dreaming of, sliced fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
You hear it all the time. Buy local, think local, eat local, choose local, grow local. But who the heck really is local? You can shop with locals at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall and search for locals at buynevadafirst.com. We're all local all the time.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Text and whatever. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Welcome back to MAGA Matters with Greg Meakin. A little housekeeping here before I start. I want to thank my dear man on the boards here, Mr. Brian Shaddix. Mr. Shaddix is known as Brian the Guitar Man. You have to pronounce it like that, Guitar Man. Brian Shaddix, he's the Bo Snerdley. Does anyone remember Rush Limbaugh and Bo Snerdley? Anyhow, that's Brian Shaddix today. Shout outs to you guys. I'm all about team. There's no such thing as single championships. It's all a team. We got Brian, we've got Jay, we've got Eddie Floyd. Goodness, we got Shanimal on the other side and others. So it is an absolute. I love America Matters Media. Thrilling to be here. I flew in from Phoenix yesterday. Really just kicking off this show, Mega Matters. And I wanted to meet Eddie. I wanted to meet Brian and the whole crew. I've always believed that in business, that fly in town, go shake hands, meet people, look them in the eyes, and you learn more. You learn more in visiting with someone face to face in 5 minutes or a 5-minute cell call than you do with hanging around for hours and hours on the internet. Goodness, welcome everybody. I already see Val Olson, of course, is in the chat. When you do put, if you will, guys, if you do put comments into the Facebook chat, do quick one-liners. I can't see the whole dialogue and stuff. So thank you, Val. Thank you, Val, for plugging my book, Why I Came to America and What I Think Now. By Greg Meakin. It's available on, I can't believe it, Amazon. I broke down and put my books on Amazon. There's both a hardcover, not hardcover, soft cover like this, Why I Came to America, What I Think Now. And there's now, I really wanted to launch a special, not only for audiences like this, but I have a few other audiences, both down in Arizona and with our military veterans around the country with Captain James McCormick. So I did want to shout out to all you guys out there. And no matter what, on Maga Matters, on anything to do with Greg Meakin, I've done, goodness, after publishing this book during COVID, remember COVID, I've been on over 100 radio shows, 3 or 4 different radio shows, really around the world, up in Canada and one in London, England. And I absolutely love it. We get a platform to be able to shout to the rooftops, things that need to be fixed in the country, things that obviously problems, concerns. Everybody I know is worried. Everybody I know is concerned. Concerned about the economy, concerned about grocery prices, concerned about gas prices. Average family out there is living on basically $1,000 less per month. My family, I calculated about $1,200 less per month during Bidenomics, during the Biden administration. But I always like to start things just kind of fun. The elephant in the room here, it might be the referee's jersey that I'm wearing. And the cool thing about referees' jerseys is you can always see them. You always see them, they stand out. And the problem with it is sometimes you always see them and they stand out. Imagine that. This is my referee thing. I'm a hockey guy. A lot of my books are really based around hockey, or at least hockey anecdotes and stuff. And my brand is called Dueling Citizens, meaning start a fight over ideas, culture, disagreements, etc. Just go ahead and drop the gloves, start a fight, but let's argue over it. Let's come to common ground and a common mission moving forward. So that is Dueling Citizens. I'll get to some lighter things a little bit later, but I wanted to touch base with, when I do radio, and almost anything else, I'm absolutely emphatic over solutions. There's so much, shall I say complaining, shall I say harping, shall I say, I call it copy paste news stories through the day, where I call it kind of preaching to the choir a little bit, that once you've got a news story kind of digested, it's the same news story, just fitted a different way. And what I really like to do is bring something different, some nuances, and mainly solutions to our woes, as we say. This book, Why I Came to America and What I Think Now, was really not only anecdotes about my life in Canada versus the U.S., but it's also a desire for solutions, talking about the economy, of course, talking about the state of the military. I love to talk about healthcare. I have a solution that I call them Greg's lists, where I get my 7-point checklist or whatever that will solve a solution, and not just a solution, a doable solution to healthcare, to education. My biggest passion is education, and to taxes, those types of things. So, not what's the problem, what's the solution? And time permitting, one of these shows, I'll really dissect them, a little bit more and go over those lists. The big one I wanted to talk about, just toss it out there right now, is I published an article. I call them Greg's lists, where I do checklists. Imagine that, Greg's lists. And very fitting for 2024. It was called, and I wrote this 4 years ago. I don't have it in front of me, so because I'll get my technology ramped up the next show. But it was called "Federal Express Can Deliver Our Elections." Federal Express can deliver our next election. And with watching the election catastrophe, and really it's been in the last, never mind 3-4 years, it goes back to remember Gore versus Bush, the first Supreme Court election that had to be decided in the Supreme Court. So elections have really, really obviously just taken a hit as far as credibility, manageability, etc. And I really wanted to make propose something that we could actually fix it with. And Federal Express can deliver our next election. Basically, I'm saying we have absolutely no idea how to count our votes anymore in the United States. There's still some elections around the country to this day. They don't know what the final count was. Are you kidding? Don't get me riled up, Brian. Don't get me riled up this early, man. Brian, the most nerdly of Rush Limbaugh. God, I love you guys. But Federal Express, the whole key is, and as I said, I came down to the United States in 1983, so I was 24 years old. There's a lot of things about the U.S. I didn't understand. I didn't understand this electoral college thingy. And to this day, to this moment, there are new nuances that I learn. But I think it's one of the most priceless gifts from God and from our founding fathers that could ever be blessed upon a country, because indeed we are a constitutional republic. Everybody, a republic. 50 states, okay? And what I proposed was a real plan to really leave the nuances of the electoral college and process in place. I mean, Dixville Notch in New Hampshire starts out the U.S. elections with their 5 or 6 votes that they write on a blackboard. Keep those. However, Federal Express is going to count the votes, every single vote. And it's more a subject for an entire show. But basically that all of the infrastructure is in place for basically a private contractor to simply take over the counting process, including, ladies and gentlemen, home delivery. Go to a person's house and obviously provide the ballot and go pick up the ballot at the person's house with a tracking number, because that's what Federal Express does. Goodness, I wish I had the list in front of me, but it is on my website, which is gregmeakin.com. That's GregMeakin.com. And all of my stuff's on there. A bio, like, who's this guy with a referee's jersey? But my bio and my Greg's lists. The most interesting part of my site is the trending section, where I do try to keep folks posted on kind of current stuff and what's going on. So Federal Express can deliver our next elections and beyond. Read that one. It's one for the ages. There are others. I'm really concerned about healthcare, and I've lived half my life in Canadian universal healthcare and half my life in American quote market-based healthcare, and I have my opinions there. And there's good and bad on both sides. But once again, in the book, healthcare, how do we fix this mess? And the key is to go to a market-based, semi-private system, much like a lot of the providers do down here in the States, but provide some things as well that the Canadian healthcare world provides. It can be a combination of both. Again, dueling citizens. You give me your point of view, your side. I'll give you mine. Let's talk about it. Let's have a duel. In the end, if things really get bad, we just punch each other in the nose and go away friends. You know, we do that in hockey. Hockey, I tell you what, we just go out on the ice. I'm talking back to 1970s Quebec, Montreal, and we punch each other in the nose on the ice and go back and have go away friends and go have a beer after the game. Come on, that's the whole brand. That's this whole Dueling Citizens brand, and I believe it's going to be more the wave. The wave. I call it the wave back. My next book coming up, believe it or not, it's going to be an ebook, just like my first book is now an ebook, $5 for ebook on Amazon. My next book coming up, and it's going to be pre-order starting May 15th, is Why I Came to America. And can we even fix this mess? Because everybody I talk to during the day says, can we even fix this mess? I hear I'm becoming a big fan of Leo Zaki and his show with Eddie, America Matters. And I think we're all asking the same questions. And my answer is, hell yeah, we can fix this mess, but we got to get squared away. And we got to go win ourselves some elections. You can't do anything. You can't fix anything until you've won elected office. I mentioned a comment to a Leo on air the other day on the chat room, and I said, and this is controversial, but I like it, and I've said it, I've repeated this to several politician friends I know, is now is not a time for pragmatism. Now is not a time for reaching across the aisle. I'm from Canada. I reached across the aisle all my life. Now's the time to proverbially punch your own opponent in the nose, go win yourself an election, get into elected office, and then go fix things from there. We're going to be heading to a commercial break here. Anytime, let me know here, because we will be right back to MAGA Matters.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time.
Ugh.
Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-296-1259. 800-296-1259. 800-296-1259. That's 800-296-1259.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Maga Matters with Greg Meakin. Before I even get started, a little bit of housekeeping. This is my favorite joke. Maga Matters is a show. My goal when I was chatting with Eddie Floyd and kind of inviting me to be part of the network here, my goal was to be the #1 show in at America Matters Media. Right now, I think Eddie holds that position, and it would be my pleasure to be #1. And Eddie laughed at that, and I'd be happy to be #2 to Eddie as well. Welcome back. Really looking forward to not only this show. This is the kickoff show. This is the launch show. I don't have a laptop in front of me, so I really can't track the comments real time. So to Val Olson, to the folks that are out there, I reach out to you. Fabulous. I'll be talking about a million things in future shows, a million things. But there's going to be one area that I will continue getting back to, and this is a surprise for the show. I guarantee you, no listeners we're waiting for this, is it's talking about Alberta up in Canada, the province of Alberta. Here we go. Any Alberta, there'll be lots of Alberta people listening via live or replatforming. And I just want to let you know, I've been on a personal mission the last 2 years to assist the province of Alberta to become the 51st state of the United States of America. To anyone who might shrug their shoulders and say, oh, that couldn't happen. This couldn't happen. No way. For 2 years, I've been involved with an absolutely wonderful group. It's the Alberta 51 group up there. There are tens and tens of thousands of people who want out of Canada. Okay. And no more has this been more prevalent than really the last year or so, because honestly, we've heard a lot of stories, of course, in the last goodness, 3, 4, 5 years about Mr. Justin Trudeau and the catastrophe that he's created up in there in Canada. So Alberta, these folks, anyone who is familiar with the story, they know they're the redheaded stepchild of Canada. The province of Alberta is the third largest reserves of oil in the world. And since the 1960s, they've been sending back, it's what's called equalization money, back to Ottawa, back east. So the have provinces help the have not provinces, which sounds real well and good, but after some $700 billion transferred back east with almost, you can talk to Albertans on this, not seeing a lot of return for that. They're sick and tired of it. And there's a much larger faction in the province of Alberta that would absolutely say yes. Were there an up or down question? Do you want to be the 51st state of the United States? Yes or no? This is an entire show for another day, but my feeling, absolutely, based on the research and a lot of deep dives, is the answer to me would be yes, and not only yes, but a good solid majority. Canada, sadly, and Alberta has sadly become not just, quote, an immigration issue or situation. I believe it's become an asylum province, a refugee situation, in that the folks up there are really, really, in a lot of ways, especially economically hurting. So with that in mind, I did this, and it's so funny. I did a tribute. I'm a hockey guy, whether folks know it or not. But I did this a couple of years ago. Made a tribute jersey. I don't know if we can get this on camera or not. It's a Alberta 51, Alberta, USA 51 hockey jersey. And this is circulated. Boy, it's up on this jersey, personalized, is up on a reservation up there. The wonderful, wonderful Indians that I know up there, and other people and in other states. And I want to tell you whether people think it can happen or not. You stay tuned to Alberta, USA, Alberta 51. And I know, again, that there's going to be a lot of folks listening in that are really going to want to hear that discussion. And as a side note, before I run from this conversation, as a side note, over 2 years ago, Sheriff Mark Lamb, around a campfire with me in Arizona City, Arizona, wholeheartedly endorsed Alberta, USA, Alberta 51 USA, wholeheartedly. And we did a full hour. I did a whole hour and 15 minute interview with Sheriff Mark Lamb, and he reaches out, and even reaches out to this day to folks. I chatted with him by text earlier today, just reaching out for folks that are seeking, whether it's in Alberta or elsewhere, God, family, and freedom. Common sense, getting back what I call to a 1950s handshake world, not this garbage we're seeing every day. I'm getting emotional. The garbage we see every day, all the way to our campuses these days. I can't even talk about what I'm seeing in the campuses right now. I want to throw up. I watch it on TV and saying, I can't believe it. Are Jews actually being turned away, blocked? I'm saying, am I seeing that? I turn off the TV. I just can't handle it. So 1950s handshake world, I believe there's a wave back. I think the wave back is with the leader, the younger leaders, the Sheriff Mark Lambs, the Leo Zackis of the world. Most of them are Generation X in their 40s and 50s. Leo, I believe, is in his 30s, so he is a millennial. But this is the young group of folks. The Captain James McCormicks of the world, the fellow old guys, the Eddie Floyds of the world. But I believe that there is a move back to more traditional, conservative America, what we grew up with, back to common sense. And I believe there's a red wave that we're going to see crest on November 5th. And if anyone doesn't think so, just watch. Can we fix this mess? I honestly don't know, but I think so. 2 words to watch out for. Boy, I'm just feeling comfortable here today. Boy, it's good to be in Reno. There'll be many Maga Matters shows in the future, but just with these leaders, okay, these Gen X leaders, 40s, 50s. I believe the Charlie Kirks of the world, who is marketing Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, now Turning Point Action. Goodness, I got to talk to Leo Zacki about that. I covered a Charlie Kirk event almost 3 years ago in Phoenix and got to know their press folks and stuff. And Charlie Kirk is a millennial who is trying to change the world in communicating to our younger generation, the Gen Zs, which are 16 to 26 years old now, Gen Z. And then the little alphas, little baby alpha generation, are now turning 16. They're heading into the workplace. So Charlie Kirk has an amazing network around the country, Turning Point USA, in all the college campuses, a lot of them, and basically trying to get the message of United States, Founding Fathers, Constitution, First Amendment, Second Amendment, again, God, family, freedom. And I think the most underrated, quote, generations are these younger generations, the Gen Z and Alphas, because you can't keep them, they can't be censored because the internet. So the Charlie Kirks, the American Matters, the Maga Matters, all the great conservatives out there, people are hearing them. The Gen Z is hearing them, and I think I really do think that there's going to be an awful lot of not millennials, Gen Zs, and even these alphas who are just pure conservatives. I don't know if it's going to be the majority of them, but they're not going to be what people are labeled, what some of these younger generations are labeled to be. Millennials millennials. If you haven't noticed, I analyze the generations, and I'll be doing major shows on the generations because I was trained by Toyota to manage them. But there will be the millennials get a bad rap in terms of kind of being flaky or a little lazier than older generations. But Sheriff Mark Lamb around our campfire said, millennial guys can be the most underrated soldiers. They're some of the best soldiers and warriors we've ever had in our armed forces because they have their older generation kind of lessons they learned from their grandparents, but they know technology, and everything in military now is technology. So millennials, I think there's a huge portion of millennials who are just, as they say, just good old conservatives that think maybe the other millennials are giving them a bad rap. Same thing with Generation Z. You want to see Generation Z sometime? Go to a Charlie Kirk event, a Turning Point USA event. And we're talking kids in their late teens and early 20s. It'll give you faith. It'll give you faith in our young people again. Can we make it all the way back? Can we win elections? I digress there. The two words to watch out for when Donald Trump is elected in November and January, he'll be sworn in. The two words are executive orders. Joe Biden, I don't know if he set records, but he signed executive orders the third week. I think it was January 21st, 2021, where he basically, of course, undid all the entire Trump administration policies and then implemented policies right out of the gate. Joe Biden, people don't know this. He signed 63 executive orders out of the gate and then proceeded to sign more. When Donald Trump, I call him 45, 46, 47, but we'll talk about that another time. When Donald Trump is sworn in, January 21st or whatever it is, I believe, and I've said this on broadcasts in the past, I believe we will use the Democratic method, the Joe Biden method, and I think there will be scores of executive orders signed by the new president, Donald Trump. And the scores can again to fix this mess, going back to great border policy, again, that were unwound by Joe Biden, going back to list of so many things. Goodness gracious, in pursuit of energy independence that we had. Brian, we've worked all of our lives as older generation back in the 60s and 70s, recycling and pursuing energy independence. We had it. I had my $1.75 Trump gas. That's what I had, and that's all I want back. So we're going to head to a commercial break. Goodness gracious, I'll take a break, and we will be back with you on Maga Matters right after this.
Barbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen, would like to thank every customer for your loyalty and continued support through these challenging times. Call for takeout and delivery of rib tips, brisket, ahi, tuna, roasted veggies, and much more. Barbecue's open from 11 to 7, Monday through Saturday, and delivers hot food safe and healthy. Call 499-5855 for details. 499-5855 Barbecue, as featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Get real. Get into Barbecue Reno.
Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LaRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LaRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LaRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LaRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
Can you define the 4 different parts of Medicare? Do you have Medicare prescription drug gap coverage? At Nevada Senior Advisors, we will walk through the different parts of Medicare, including Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, Part D prescription drug plans to help you determine which option is right for you. Visit nvsenioradvisors.com, call 775-674-2223 to set up an appointment. Nevada Senior Advisors is not affiliated with or endorsed by the federal Medicare program or any other government agency. Calling this number will direct you to a licensed sales agent.
Congress alert. Another $1.2 trillion spending by liberal Republican Mark Amadei. $2 million for an Oregon clinic to give hormones to children. $850,000 for gay senior housing. $400,000 for gender-affirming clothing, kids 13 to 18. $400,000 for minor gender transition, promoting boys playing girls sports using the same locker rooms. Did you ever wonder why the Democrats are not running a candidate in Congressional District 2? Because Mark Amadei is a guaranteed vote for the Biden and LGBTQ agendas. Stop the insanity. Fix the budget. Close the border. Stop spending on costly, unending wars. I'm Dr. Fred Simon, a faith-based conservative supporting President Trump. Tell Mark Amadei to pack his bags in Washington and get out. I'm Fred Simon, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Simon for Congress.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Mega Matters with Greg Meakin. Full disclosure here, full disclosure. Mega Matters is not a democracy. Mega Matters is a dictatorship, and Greg Meakin's the dictator. How about that? I love that. That was an old comment from a Toyota dealer. You tell that guy that this dealership is a dictatorship. Anyhow, very nice chat, Val Olson down in Arizona. Thanks so much for your comments. Thanks for talking about my ebook, $5 ebook on Amazon. Nice comment from Michael Mandeville. Michael Mandeville, one of my favorite people in the world, from up in Alberta. Imagine this. Michael Mandeville is a huge fan of Alberta 51, Alberta, USA. So thank you, Michael. Thank you for that shout out. And there are a lot of you folks up there in Alberta that are tuning in, keeping up to date on the Alberta 51 movement. Thanks so much, Deborah. Special shout out to Deborah. Deborah in the chat is asking about immigration. She knows this is Deborah's down in Arizona, and she knows this is a real big problem. Just in case people didn't notice, we're very obviously the immigration situation on the southern border is a disaster. It is an absolute disaster. I will never, ever understand how Joe Biden enacted this policy with his executive orders. I'll never understand that. But that said, what do we do? What do we do? How do we fix this mess? And what folks might not realize, there have been so many numbers thrown out there, but my number, in looking at it very closely and with chatting with again the Sheriff Lambs and the folks down there, my prediction is I think there are 12 million 12 million illegal crossings of our U.S. southern border that will be under the Biden administration. These might include getaways, but 12 million, more of the population. I think I did the math, more than LA, I think more than Los Angeles, blah, blah. So what do you do? Other than the first thing you do is you do an executive order to go back to Trump policy. But most importantly, you need to, we need to fix, obviously. Yes, we need to finish the wall. Yes, we need to stop this bleeding right now. But how do we, quote, fix it? How do we fix it as far as moving forward? And I believe I wrote about it in the book, a fix to immigration. And the first and foremost thing you need to do, obviously, is close the border. I recommend it in the book. Close it. I mean, literally close it for 60 days or what have you, so we can assess the mess. So we can assess what we have. I mean, 37,000 Chinese nationals crossed our border in 2023. It's projected to be over double that this year. So we close the border. We evaluate what's going on. Yes, we resume the border wall, but we create a program. We create a program where as a matter of fact, I've got to read this checkpoint. This is just too good. This is too important. I'm going to read my immigration checklist. Thank you, Deborah, for bringing that up. Let me find it. You've got a busy life when you're reading your own book and trying to find the immigration solutions. Okay, this is worth it. This is worth it. I love reading my own work because then it takes all the thought process out of it. Immigration is page 68 on why I came to America and what I think now. And it's called the Greg's List solution for immigration. It's on page 72. I won't read the entire script, but here's what it is. The border catastrophe is all done for political gain and power. My Greg's List solution for immigration is as follows. A, immediately return to the previous administration's border policy. Number 2, close 100% of the border for 30 to 60 days to catch up and assess the crisis. Number C, controversial Greg here. Immediately deport 2021, 22, and 3 illegal crossers. They can start over from the other side the way it was. Number E, this is getting a little outdated now, but be like Canada. For years and years, when fixing immigration, do so based on merit. What skin into the game or what merit folks bring to the country. And then the last one is FTW, Frank Tom William. FTW, which is finish the wall. Come in through the front door, please, and welcome to America. And the final note that will be in the next book is what Sheriff Lamb brought up to me. There can easily be a fix using retina scans. Folks, legal crossers come over to the border. They check in on the U.S. side of the border. Welcome. They submit to a retina scan. So forever we'll be able to know who these folks are. And it's a national database. Again, technology is so much better than it was even 5-10 years ago. We do a retina scan. And then folks, crossers, just the way it used to be in the old days, they actually either pay a deposit or an IOU. It can be, again, we chatted about numbers, $2,000, $3,000, whatever, instead of paying or doing an IOU to the U.S. immigration system, instead of paying it to the cartels, which right now folks that are crossing, I'm hearing numbers like $10,000, $12,000 a head and more. So do a deposit. Do a deposit for inbound immigration folks. If they don't have that cash, we can put it on payments or what have you. And you give them, this is controversial, but this is what Sheriff Lamb brought up. You give them a way to be able to work and a way to be able to drive a car and buy insurance and stuff. This is very controversial, but these are folks that have buy-in to the U.S. system. Then they immediately start paying taxes. They work, start paying taxes. We can then quantify their employment and stuff and use any tax dollars to go against the deposit that they paid. And then whether it's 2 or 3 years down the road, they come back. Schedule appointments right now are scheduled out to 2032, but they come back. These folks come back, and if they have not broken the law, if they have paid their taxes, et cetera, then they can renew for another 2 or 3 years. Now, this, again, by paying another deposit, et cetera. This is the answer in terms of accountability. And then that is a true, again, after the 5-year mark or what have you, a true pathway to really valid tax-paying citizenship. That's the key. Sadly, because of this insanity and the numbers that are coming across the border, and there already has, but there's going to be an entire underground society. It already is, which is folks who are working off the books, not paying taxes. Sadly, because of the crossings, the cartels, we got massive IOU to the cartels, so folks are having to repay it via drug trafficking, human trafficking. Again, trying to pay back the cartels for their gracious crossing of the border assistance. So, Deborah, thank you for that so much for that question. It's a huge issue. It's something to kick around. But I do believe, starting once again, November 5th, 2024, we can start tackling these issues, at least tackling them for solutions with a new wave. And I'm just predicting it. A new wave of, I call it Republican administration headed by Donald J. Trump. So will this all happen? Can it happen? I have no idea. I know these are solutions and they're doable solutions. But it's going to be up to us. It's going to be up to us, the folks, the voters, to lift a finger, vote. Remember, every illegal vote out there nullifies a valid vote. In the state of Arizona, an illegal vote, thousands and thousands, nullified my vote. So it is time indeed to vote. The Democrats are just kicking our butts. They're kicking our butts in terms of even legal ballot harvesting and getting out the vote and stuff. So it's time. It's time. And I know the folks like the Leo Zackis of the world are really, really passionate about that. So thank you so much for that question, Deborah. One more thing before we start heading to a commercial break as well. The other issue I'm really going to be talking about a lot, and I've talked on the radio about it quite a bit. It's on my YouTube channel. By the way, most of these clips and most of the radio I do is on my YouTube channel. There's a number of Mega Matter shows and clips. There's Sheriff Mark Lamb clips and stuff on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Greg Meakin, which is GregMeakin. And one thing I really, really feel passionate about, of course, is not only educate. Boy, don't get me started on education. Don't get me started on education. But indeed, I think this wave back is headed, as I said earlier, by the younger generation leaders, like the folks we've been talking about. What I brought up a number of weeks ago, and it's been talked about in different forms, is 1 year mandatory. Get this, mandatory 1 year civic service by all high school grads. 1 year. The Israelis do it where there's 2 years mandatory military service after high school. We've published a lot about this. There are a lot of details that I've published that I think are unique. It's a mandatory 1 year, and you can choose multi choices as far as what you want to do in that year. It is a minimum wage paying position, 40 hours a week, and you can go military. You can go perhaps Peace Corps, perhaps Habitat for Humanity, perhaps trade schools. Imagine that. Mike Rowe will go crazy over my 1 year civic service. The catchphrase for that, think of it as a grade 13. A grade 13. We're going to be going to another commercial break. God love our sponsors and advertisers.